Welcome back to another Movies with Andy. Today's movie is Supergirl.
What can I do?
The Brigands carry the antidote on that person. He has 3 days.
You cannot give up on me.
So Supergirl stars Milly Alcock as Kara Zor-El, or Supergirl. So after Supergirl's ship gets stolen and Krypton almost dies, it's up to Kara Zor-El to save her best friend. But before we begin, this review is brought to you by Te Salud. I swear there are so many delicious flavors on the Te Salud website, from mango chili lollipop to the manzana flavor. And they're also the official hydration drink for the Mexican national soccer team, which is Sandia Pepino. And let me tell you, that one's delicious as well. And if you use my code Andy10 right now, you get 10% off your whole order. Yes, that's 10% off your whole order. Thank you so much, Te Salud. Now back to the review. So let me talk about things that I liked about this film. So first off, Milly Alcock does a really good job as Supergirl, especially when she plays drunk in Supergirl. She stays on red planets so she feels the effects of alcohol. And I feel like she's really funny when she does play drunk Supergirl. But she also does a good job on some of the action sequences as well. But I feel like a big standout in this movie, and he needs a solo movie already, is Jason Momoa as Lobo. I don't know what it is about Jason Momoa, but he does an amazing job with those over-the-top crazy characters. He's just so funny, and you know for a fact he's having so much fun with that character. And I feel like the makeup and everything just looked amazing as well. Although he isn't in the movie too much, but the time he is on there, he is a scene stealer. I also really like that we got a backstory to Supergirl in this movie. And we got to see what was Krypton like and what was happening on Krypton, which I feel like Superman really lacked the origin story of Superman, which yes, we all know what happens, but I would also like to know a little bit more about the James Gunn's universe background of Superman. And we kind of got that with the Supergirl movie. It was just really cool to see Krypton's planet just ending. I like that we were able to see Kara Zor-El's parents and what it was like to live on Krypton, and the tragedy of not just seeing your planet destroyed once, but twice. I also did like that they filmed some of the scenes on location. Not like they filmed in space or anything, of course, but some of the wide open locations in Iceland just looked beautiful, especially on camera, and it did look like an otherworldly environment, which I really enjoyed that. I just feel like in other movies, we don't get real environment shots. It's always CGI or just green screen. So I really did like that as well. And now with some things that I didn't really like. All right, I just feel like this movie was a very generic superhero movie. It just felt very basic, which sucks because although I did have my problems with Superman, I did like that one way more than I like Supergirl. So I'll just go to some of the parts that I just didn't really like. So I'll go to my number one, that I did not like the villain in this movie. He just legit seemed like one of the most generic villains I've ever seen in a movie ever. And I really don't even remember his name. And I feel like they told us his name like 3 or 4 times in this movie. And I just mean that he was a generic villain because he just did the most generic things in this movie. For example, like when he takes someone out, I just feel like he just does the generic psychopath laugh of like, hee, I just killed you. You know, and I just didn't really like that. But he also just does evil things to make the audience hate him. Like for example, now we got the trope of hurting the dog, which right away in a movie, if you do hurt the dog, we're going to be in the protagonist's side and we're going to hate the bad guy right away. But at this point, it kind of just feels overplayed. And again, I feel like one of my biggest critiques of the Superman movie that is also in this movie is that it's kind of just a bunch of things happening. Like it just feels like, and it's horrible to compare it like TikTok. It's kind of just things happening in this movie just to happen. And just so the audience does not get bored, which I'm all for that, but it kind of just makes the story feel more generic. And I feel like, again, with a lot of these super CGI movies, the CGI wasn't the greatest. But I do kind of get it because it is a very overly CGI'd movie. And then some of the action scenes, I just feel like you don't know what's happening. Like the camera just felt way too close to the action that you just didn't know what was going on. So I feel like sometimes I had to step back and really look at the screen because I just was trying to figure out where Supergirl was and what was going on. And something small that really bothered me in this movie was that there was no real big character development for Supergirl, which at first she's kind of just dealing with her depression and everything she's gone through, so she's drinking her sorrows away. But there's like no big thing to really make her say like, this is why I have to change. Or at least I didn't see it. Like she kind of just changes just to change. So of course, this isn't the worst superhero movie I've ever seen, but it did just feel like the most generic superhero movie I've ever seen, which kind of sucks because I have so much faith in James Gunn and what he plans to do in the DC universe. But I feel like I am that person that hasn't liked the first two movies that have come out. I did like Superman way more my second time watching it, but I really don't feel like Supergirl will be that. Which kind of sucks because there were some cool parts in there, but it was kind of just ruined by generic villain and just a generic story overall. So now, would I watch Supergirl in the theaters again? I feel like we already know the answer. I wouldn't go back to the theaters to watch it one more time, which kind of sucks because I do feel like Milly Alcock does a really good job as Supergirl. And I am excited to see where her character goes from here. And I'm very excited to see what Jason Momoa does with Lobo, and I really do hope we see him in the future. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to say that many negative things about a movie because I know how much work all these people put into it. But I have to let you know my honest opinion about it. But please, let me know what you thought about Supergirl in the comments down below. Am I just completely wrong and am I overthinking this movie? Let me know down in the comments. And let me know in the comments, does this make you less excited or more excited for the future of the DC movies? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more movie reviews every week.